Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Parvinder and today we are diving into one of the most useful and widely used design patterns in object-oriented programming, the builder design pattern. If you ever found yourself writing constructors with endless parameters, then this video is for you. If I am going too fast or too slow, don't worry. You can adjust the playback speed in the YouTube settings. Just click the gear icon below the video and choose the speed that works best for you. So what exactly the builder design pattern? So builder design pattern is one of the creational design patterns which allows step-by-step construction of complex objects. So here I used word complex objects. So what I mean by complex object is an object that has multiple independent components or configurations that require careful assembly, right? So we need to put extra care to initialize such object. So those objects are called complex objects. So here in the diagram, you can see we have one mobile object with lot of properties like brand, model, color, RAM, SD card, camera, and so on. So initialization of such objects is always a headache. So how to handle that situation? So builder design pattern helps to solve this problem. So in this diagram, you can see what was the traditional approach. So before builder design pattern, so what was the solutions to this problem? So in this first diagram, so you can see, so we have created a constructor with a big list of arguments. Sometimes there is a situation when all the arguments are not the required arguments. Few of them are required one and rest of the parameters are optional. So in that case, so unnecessarily we were passing the details, or what else we could do? So we can just pass the null values or minus negative values for the fields which are not required, right? But again, unnecessarily we are passing the data which is actually not required for some object at a particular time, right? The other solution for this problem can be creating multiple constructors. So basically constructor overriding. So here you can see, so I have created first constructor with 2 parameters, second constructor with brand, RAM, SD card and camera, right? And similarly, we can write n number of constructors. But again, this is not a right approach, because if we have 15 arguments and there would be hundreds of constructors, or we can write with different combinations of parameters, right? Which is not the correct approach. So instead of using a constructor with a long list of parameters, or by overriding the constructor by writing the multiple constructors, right? So we cannot resolve our problem in an appropriate way. So instead, we can use builder to set properties one by one, making our code more readable and maintainable. The main advantage of builder pattern is that it allows for better readability and flexibility. It also helps when you want to create immutable objects, which are especially using in a multi-threaded environment. So let's discuss the main components of builder design pattern. So here you can see, so first thing is product. So in our example, for example, mobile is a product with multiple properties. And what is the builder? So builder, it provides specific implementation to construct individual parts of the product. For example, I want to initialize one mobile object, right? And we need to provide the values to the various properties like brand, model, color, and so on. So builder will help us to set the values for these properties. Next thing is director. Director is optional, so it defines the order in which to execute the building steps. So this is the optional component, but we will be making the example with director as well. So last component is client. So client is basically the code that initiates the construction of the complex object. Let's start with the traditional example. We will be creating a mobile class and then we will be using builder to set its properties. In this example, I will be using the same properties so which you can see on the diagram. So I have just identified few of them are the required fields and rest of the fields are optional. So let's jump into our IDE. So here we have one mobile class, which is the product we need to create. And there are properties like brand, model, color, RAM, SD card, and so on. And as of now, I am considering first three properties as the required properties and rest of the properties are optional. And in this builder design pattern, the very first thing we need to do is we need to create a builder class. So here in your product class, so we need to create one class, public static class mobile builder, right? So you can mention any name, but the naming convention for builders, so mostly we use product name and then builder. So because our product is mobile or our class name is mobile, so we are using the name mobile builder. And what you need to do here in mobile builder, we just need to copy all the properties of product class into builder class. So this is our first step. And in this builder class constructor, so I am creating one constructor, public mobile builder, right? And the required properties we will be initializing in this constructor. So string brand, string model, and string color, right? So this dot brand, model, and color. So we have initialized the required properties. Those are available here in mobile builder class. Now, so I need to create the setter methods for all these optional properties. So for example, here public mobile builder set RAM, and this dot RAM equals to whatever the value we will be passing and return this. So here you can see for this setter function, so the return type is mobile builder. So the instance of this class itself, right? And we need to return current instance. So that's why we are referring current instance by this. So every setter method for these optional properties will be returning the reference of current mobile builders instance. So similarly, for example, set SD card, return this. So you can see in this function again, so we have set the property on current mobile builder instance, and then we are returning the mobile builder itself, right? So let me write rest of the setter methods. Once all the setter methods are done, then we need to create one method, that is build method. Public mobile build. So build function's return type would be our product. And here what we need to do, so return new mobile, and here we will be passing the current instance of mobile builder, right? So what we are going to do, so in this build method we are creating the actual instance of mobile. Now we need such constructor which accepts mobile builder as argument. So here in our outer class, which is mobile class, I need to create one constructor mobile, and here we are passing mobile builder as reference. And you can see here in mobile builder, so we have the same properties just like the outer class, right? And we have the required values initialized, and we have optional values initialized as per the call to setter methods, right? So And in our mobile class, so we have that mobile builders instance, right? From this instance we will be initializing our object. So here, so this dot brand equals to builder dot brand, model equals to builder dot model, and color equals to builder dot color. And similarly we can initialize all the properties from the builder. So whatever the values will be initialized in the builder, so all those values will be passed to the properties of our product class, so which is mobile in our case. Okay, here we need to make one change, that is this constructor. So we need to make this constructor as private, so that object of this class cannot be created directly outside of this class, but we will be using our builder class to create the instance of this class. So so we need to make sure to make this constructor private. So let's jump to the main class. So here we will be initiating the construction of our product class, that is mobile class. So for example, I need to create one mobile object. So call it iPhone equals to, so new mobile dot mobile builder, and there are three required properties for mobile builder constructor, you can see here. So brand, model, and color, right? So here we need to pass brand value, for example Apple, and model is iPhone 15, and color is black. So these are the required properties we will be passing through constructor. And additional properties, whatever values we want to set, so we will be calling dot, for example battery 4500, dot camera 32 pixel, dot front camera true, price for example 1550 cents dollars. And finally we need to call build method, which returns the object of mobile, right? And here if I want to print mobile, so we should have toString method. So we have already overwritten the toString method just to print the properties. So here what I will be doing, so iPhone, let's run this program. So you can see the values we have printed. And if you don't want to set, for example, these two properties, set front camera or is 5G enabled, so we just need to remove that, because those are the optional things. So it's up to us. If the requirement is to set the values, we can set, otherwise we can just leave these options. So for the time being I'm just setting this. And now if I want to create another object, so I'm just copying this. For example, we need to create another phone, maybe Vivo mobile, right? So company is Vivo, model is Vivo XL or Vivo X13, whatever the model is. Color is blue, and we can print here Vivo mobile. So you can see, so we have created this big complex object in a very simple way using builder design pattern. Here one point we can discuss, but before that, so let's have a quick look. So to create the class as per builder design pattern, what we need to do, so just copy all the properties of your product class into the mobile builder class, which is static inner class, and all the properties are copied. And in builders constructor we will be taking the required properties and we will be initializing the builders properties, which are the required fields, and rest of the properties we will be setting through setter methods. And these setter methods will be of builder type itself. So after setting the value on the builder property, so it will be returning the same instance. So here you can see, for example, by writing this statement, so we have one instance of mobile builder type, right? And when we set the property dot set battery, right? So we are setting the property on this instance, so that is set battery for 4500, and it is returning the same reference, and on that same reference we are setting set camera. Similarly we are calling other functions on that instance itself, right? And finally on that instance itself we are calling the build method, and here in the build method you can see we are returning the actual product instance, and we are passing the reference of our created builder, so current builder, right? And here inside the constructor, when we are receiving the builder which has all the properties set previously, either through its constructor or through the setter methods, so we are taking the properties from that builder and we are passing those to our product properties. So this is the classic builder design pattern. So here when we discussed the components of builder design pattern, so we have this option director, which is optional, right? So we have a scenario, for example, here. So the way we have created this iPhone or we have created this Vivo mobile, right? So for example, we have created these objects in the main method, right? So we need to create the same object at multiple places inside your application. So you will be writing this piece of code again and again if you need the same iPhone configurations or same instance at multiple places, right? So the better approach can be like if somehow we can write this code once and we can use it as many times we required. And similarly, for example, we have this Vivo mobile, so we need to create this instance multiple times throughout the application, right? Or at the multiple places in our application, or we can say in multiple classes in our application, right? So in such scenario, we can use director approach. So here, so when to use director, so you can see, for example, in this green section, so we have in this green section, so we have iPhone 1 and iPhone 2, so which contains the same configurations, and on multiple places either we can write the same code two times or we can use director to just reduce the duplication of the code. Similarly, for Vivo phone 1 and Vivo phone 2 we have two same configurations, or you can say we have written the same code two times, right? Just to avoid this situation, let's see how we can use director, but this is completely optional. You can directly use this piece of code as many times, but we need to understand how we can use the director just to write the code easy and understandable way. Let me create another package, example dot using director. Let's create one class mobile, and in this mobile class, so we have the same properties which we used in the previous package in the previous example, and we have constructor which accepts mobile builder reference. And just like the previous example, so we are initiating the properties through builder. We have toString method, and in mobile builder class, so we have a non-parameterized constructor, and all these properties we are initializing through setter methods. So brand, set model, set color, all these properties are initialized through setter methods. And finally we have a build method which returns the object of mobile, same as we discussed in previous example. Now I need to create one director. Let's call it mobile director. So in this class, what we will be doing, we will be creating, for example, in the previous example, so we created these objects, right? iPhone and Vivo mobile objects, right? And now like these objects will be created at multiple places, right? So for that we are using mobile director, and inside mobile director, let me create one method, public mobile create iPhone, and here we will be passing mobile dot mobile builder, and from this method we will be returning builder dot set brand Apple dot set model iPhone dot set color black, and finally build. So similarly I have another method here just to create Vivo phone, and we will be setting the different properties, and RAM is 8 GB. So in this mobile director, so we have created two configurations. One is to create iPhone and one is to create Vivo phone. Ultimately we are using the builder design pattern here, but we just separated the instance creation code out of our main initial class. So here for example I am creating the main class, right, and main method. And in this class what we are doing, let me create mobile director equals to new mobile director, and here we can call, for example, mobile iPhone equals to director dot create iPhone, and we will be passing new mobile dot mobile builder, right? So we just uh, tell director, so this builder needs to be used for creation of this mobile. And similarly if I want to, let me print this first, so iPhone, and let's run this program, and you can see, so Apple phone is created with a lot of properties. And similarly if I want to create mobile Vivo phone equals to director dot create Vivo phone, and we are passing the builder, and finally we can print if required Vivo phone, and let's run this, and you can see Vivo phone is created. So I believe you understood like why we have used the director. So now think, we have created this phone here, right? So iPhone, so somewhere else you want to create the iPhone, right? So for example here I want to create iPhone 2 equals to, so we can call our director, because director has all the configuration steps, right? So which can be used under, So here, if I open this create iPhone, so you can see we have already defined the steps to follow. So this is about the director, and it's all about builder design pattern. Let's quickly summarize what we have learned today. The builder pattern is perfect for constructing complex objects step by step. The traditional builder works well for simple cases, but when you need multiple configurations, introducing a director makes the process cleaner and more maintainable. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more coding tutorials and design pattern explanations. Hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content. Thanks for watching and happy coding. See you in the next video.